Hi, I'm Cher Kaufmann. I'm international artist and author of the Artful Mandala coloring book and the Ancient Alchemy coloring book, and also this book, Mandalas and More, a meditative drawing and coloring book for mind, body, and spirit. I just love this book. This is such a substantial book for beginners, of those that are trying to learn how to draw, and also those that maybe have had some coloring experience but want to expand. Well, there's something very special about this book that's a little different than just drawing and just learning a little bit about how to color. And it has these very special pages called the Big Picture. And today's big picture that I would like to show you is start with what you know. And this is a concept that you would figure would be pretty obvious, but it's amazing how many people skip this. And then they jump into something that's a little bit more complicated, and then they get frustrated. And then they wonder why everyone else can do it and they can't. So here's the thing, just start with what you know. And that's why the basic lessons and examples that I like to get started with students will sometimes seem very simple or basic or even technical, and that's on purpose. Because you begin to build confidence and you begin to layer these small, basic, simple things, and it begins to expand and, oh gosh, just grow. So here are a few things that I would like to talk with you about, starting with what you know. If you're beginning to draw, start with what you know with shapes that are simple and manageable. Circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, dots, curved lines. Even if something starts out as one shape and accidentally moves to another shape, well, maybe you've created a new shape, but continue, keep going. Those little things begin to add on to each other. I remember the one time that I was drawing a leaf shape, and my leaf looked lopsided. And I thought, oh no, I messed it up. And then the more that I began to look at it, I thought, oh my gosh, I just drew a leaf that looks like it does in nature. It had this soft bend to it. That was almost accidental, but that's just the way that the pen moved that one time. So sometimes those little accidents can actually be teachers to you. So starting with what you know and letting them to develop, let them develop, can be a gift to you in teaching you things. By building confidence, So there's one thing that I want to talk to you about with building confidence. When an athlete is building their skill level, the idea is to have a connection between brain and body, movement and speed, agility, so that it moves into an automatic movement. So that it moves into a place where your body knows more information on how to react and how to respond than it does to think about what to do. And so an athlete is going to be moving into a space where it is about moving faster. With meditative drawing, it's actually slowing down. So your brain is going to want to seek out shapes that are familiar and figure, I've got it handled, and it's going to want to speed up. And this is where the lesson of starting with what you know and just beginning to develop the relationship with that one shape and drawing many of those shapes may seem, boring. But what ends up happening is that your brain can follow the shape because it's familiar. And your pen can develop confidence. And your body can begin to relax. And so starting with what you know is actually a way of beginning to create a mind-body connection and communication in a different way than you've ever had. It's not about speeding it up. It's about opening a greater level of communication relationship between how they speak to each other. And then you'll find that when you get into that zone, that really wonderful place when everything is automatic, then your body has that information. It has reached into the muscles, and it is something that your body knows how to draw that shape without you thinking about it. So practicing those can actually be very, very helpful for you. Now when it comes to coloring, if you are doing things with coloring, the same thing can happen with how you hold your pencil, with how you apply your colors. You'll get to a place where you have a feeling of how these colors are going to move together. And it will become more automatic if you allow yourself to slow down and see how these colors feel and move and the tools that you work with, how they merge and come together. Now, there's one thing that I love to share with people is this idea of nostalgia. So with nostalgia, it's looking at something that has had a life. It's something that has lived and experienced something. So let's just take a broken tree branch as an example. In Japan, there is an idea about wabi-sabi. And the idea is to look at this broken tree branch and be able to know that this tree branch came from a living tree. That the tree had to start as a seed and be able to grow all the way up into this tree and go through an entire life cycle in order for you to be able to see this simple branch. And there's a bit of nostalgia and a bit of wisdom and knowledge in being able to observe something not as broken, but as something that holds wisdom and experience. So when we look at things with an idea of that everything contains some type of wisdom, and we're looking at different stages of how this wisdom develops, we begin to appreciate the different stages very differently. So whether you're a beginner or are advanced or a teacher or a novice, start with what you know. Whatever stage that you're at, trust with what you know and begin there. And you can create amazing and unique works of art. I'm Cher Kaufmann. May you find more inspiration in your days.